Well, the unfortunate thing, and in a lot of ways it was a really good thing. It was what it was, and my prep cook and I just weren't able to work very well together, and unfortunately, well, now I'm stuck reorganizing the whole flippin' house. Some of you may understand where I'm coming from on that. However, at least it was mostly peaceful. I had to rearrange when I'm working on my whole kitchen, and everything is in disarray. She did not do it, I did it. I was having a hard time finding a darn thing. And, the question lays, how fast do you want your money to leave your wallet? Well, I got projects. I'm coming up on Chef Matt. There's going to be some interesting projects. Who knows? I may change my channel name yet again. Well, maybe the creations of Matt Hammerschmidt? Who knows? Maybe it might be the creations of Brother Matt or Brother Hammerschmidt. I have no idea. I would like all of you to put in that dirt pit. This is going to be open until December 25th, 2019 for vote. Put your suggestions down below and make sure that I do need to show you that I have been working on some various creations and getting things oriented, and the vote will remain open until December 25th, 2019. On that date, you'll be able to find me live on Twitch to announce the new channel name, and the VOD will most likely end up being uploaded to, let me think here, right up here to YouTube. You can find me on PigKing13, and that's on Twitch. PIGKING13. And, well, I've got work to do and can't stand around forever and look at this camera and create the video for y'all, because I've covered about all I need to cover for this video. My opening thought for the day is, at some point in time, you go through life and you're going through it and you're going through it and you're going through it and you're just going through the motions and you're going through the motions and you're frustrated and you're frustrated. And your boss says, get your ass in my office, and I just get in my office, we need to talk. He goes, well, I gotta let you go, and it really doesn't have to be that tough. Don't let your boss approach you and say, hey, we gotta let you go. If the job is not right for you, instead of having that firing on the record, all you gotta do, walk up to him and say, look, or her, look, I need some time to find myself. I don't know if it's y'all. I don't know if it's me. I don't know what the deal is. Can I get a little bit of time off, like maybe 2 weeks? And even if if you started and you're about a week into it and it just is not the right fit for you, it is perfectly okay. Firings do not have, leaving a job does not have to be tough. I understand you've got a lot of bills to pay. I don't know who needs to hear this message, but sometimes what you really need to do is you really just need to step back from life and find yourself. You may find that you just need to consolidate things, and that's kind of what I've started to do, is consolidate. It really is not that tough. But we'll have to get things, keep things going today. I've got my steady income. Life doesn't need to be hell. I'm in heaven. I'm up here in heaven, I'm on earth, but it's heaven to me. It's heaven. I have not died, but I am in heaven. And for once in my life, I'm at peace. I found that it's best I do things on my own, not depend on anyone. My dad was right. He once said, "Son, if you want something done right, you're definitely going to need to do it yourself." And, he was right. And I believe that may be the message for the day. I'm not sure. I may have more to add to this today. I don't know. So, how I can explain friction and lubrication and whatnot. Friction is force. Lubrication is an equalizer. It equalizes temperature. It equalizes, it equalizes temperature. It equalizes two components. Helps them mesh with one another. How I can explain the concept of friction and lubrication is, if you and your wife are constantly at it and you're battling and battling and battling, there will be friction. There will be friction. And if you're not working together, it's friction. Wasted energy. Wasted time. Time itself cannot be measured in a monetary value. Those who do a bid on a job are limiting themselves. You have the ability to make lots of money just by slowing down and taking the time to do it right. It is not easy. For nothing in life should be easy. The way I can explain things is, it's kind of like mechanics, You thrash on your crap, it's going to cost you hell, right? You thrash on things, it's going to cost you. Well, you don't need to pull all this huge, enormous weight and stuff unnecessarily. And I find that so many people actually do that. They carry excessive loads, and they make life more difficult than it truly needs to be. And it is not necessarily life that is the journey. It's not chasing that dollar that matters. It's that dollar, it reflects, that dollars you have left over at the month reflects how much you lubricate, how much things go well. Whilst it may not be simple and whilst it may not be easy, it is what it is. When you apply excessive force, and when you apply a lot of force, you're wasting your own energy. How I can apply that is that over here, okay, I was rushing, and I blew this out right here, and it led me to a better solution, which I will do today. This screw is going to be moved down to here. I added this, I deepened this hole. I'm not done with the job, but that which is worth achieving is worth achieving. This right here is the one I deepened. This was existing. This one I added. I'm just going to move this one down here. And the reason for that is I don't want to go into wood that's already been blown out. And I want good amounts of material to go into. And it was that mistake I made when I was really tired and forcing my way through it. And I'm gonna work with it. It presented an opportunity to find a better solution. Now, I'm also actively working at figuring out an actual long-term solution, because of the fact that not everything is jiving, and I understand that this video is going to be a little topsy-turvy. I apologize. It's just I noticed an issue, and I'm going to need to actively accommodate for the issue. I made some mistakes last night because I was tired. I wasn't doing it correctly. So I've got to correct all that. How that applies to life is you force your way through things, you're going to be miserable. I'll be back. So, I was kind of walking around and looking at my stuff, and I happened to glance at one of my most recent video I just uploaded, and well, I saw that for once I was actually smiling and happy. And I'm not exactly sure what exactly it is that is going to well, in lack of better terminology, I'm working towards a goal, and I found God in the process, and, well, that which isn't actively helping you is actually hurting you. Remember that, everyone. These burdens we carry that hurt us and whatnot. When your body feels pain, your body's saying no. Okay? It didn't cost me anything extra to do this laundry that I'm doing in here. I'm making do with what I got because it's not worth it to me to take my clothes to a laundromat that damages my clothes. I value them more than I value frivolous spending. And I acknowledge the fact that I've made a lot of mistakes over the years, and, there's only one way to go from here. Now that I'm level, only one way to go. Up. Just like when building. Thank you all. I'll catch you a little bit later. I'd like to apologize to all of my subscribers that I have wronged in the past. You were all right. All of you were right. Quite frankly, I needed to quit rushing into things, and quite frankly, I made the mistake of not listening to any of you. I made the mistake of not actually recognizing the mistakes that I was making by being around the wrong people. And quite frankly, it's not that I hate anyone. It's, I do best, I work best mostly on my own. And quite frankly, I'm not going to work with somebody I do not enjoy working with. I'm not going to work with somebody that we can't jive together. And I now have the power to select what I do in my life completely on my own. And quite frankly, even though, Ron, I know that you've got a job offer, available, you've got that you're hiring and whatnot. However, one, I'm all the way on the other side of the United States. Two, I am working towards starting my own farm, and I've come to realize that I do work best on my own. It is nothing personal, Ron. And also I know there's a few other people that I interact with routinely that interact with me. Now, kind of sitting back, doing a lot more watching and observing, and time to start thinning out the people I'm subscribed to. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing personal. I'm tired of the drama and whatnot, and I'm steering clear of it now, and I want nothing to do with the drama. And quite frankly, if all y'all can't understand where I'm coming from, you have the option to unsubscribe. For those of you who are new to my channel and are interested in staying up to date on my videos that I post, there's definitely, you may definitely hit that subscribe button. Understand this much. I am personally even going to thin down the number of channels I have. I have 3 of them with videos on them, and quite frankly, I do not need 3 channels. Because eventually, all 3 of them are going to mesh together, and time to simplify my life. It's too complicated to run 3 channels. I've let one go by the wayside entirely because reality struck. I let another go by the wayside because I've put one on the back burner because it's just not the right time at this time. And I'm just focusing on this one. And I understand I have wronged people, and I'm working on making it right. And upon talking with my prep cook face to face, she just can't handle it. She just can't handle it. It's nothing against her. It's that she's too blind to see the fact that she is miserable and I am not. I'm doing just fine, and it kind of hurts a little bit, but one must just move on. And I'm working on doing so, and to me, there really isn't anything in this house worth fighting over, or ain't anything in hers that are worth fighting over. And we've worked together as chef and prep cook for, next month. It'll be a year that we've worked together, and she's, when she gets all emotional and all that, and I'm not trying to air dirty laundry, but when you get emotional, you lose the battle. And quite frankly, I want nothing to do with people that are super emotional. I just want people that are humble enough to keep a level head and acknowledge the fact they've made mistakes. And my message for you out there is that, and it's nothing, it's nothing anyone specifically did. It is just the simple fact that there really is no point in being miserable and frustrated, and I see no point in doing so. It's harmful, and if you're forcing things, it's not going to work. And my lesson to all y'all is be humble. Be able to recognize the mistakes that you've made. Be able to account for the mistakes you've made. Otherwise, your entire foundation will crumble. And if, most people don't realize this, but if their foundation is crumbling, is falling apart, it is not. It is absolutely not anything to do with the foundation wasn't strong enough. It's a little further down was the root lesson in that what causes a foundation to fail video. And quite frankly, it's getting some views, and I understand that it's going to take a while to rebuild the channel, and I'll be going through and thinning some videos out that, quite frankly, just are burdening you all down from being able to see the good content. I may, I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'll delete them from YouTube. I'm just saying that I'm going to turn them to private. It's nothing against y'all. It's actually for your own benefit. However, all y'all need to understand that I've had a rough life, and I mostly created most of it. And I understand that I have a lot I can offer, and when I'm burdened down by somebody who literally does not even know how to do things on their own, well, there's a lot of things that she did mainly to herself. I did a lot of stuff to myself, and we just need to go our own separate ways. And it's a lot of difficulty, and I'm really I'm definitely limiting what I do and whatnot, because that which is not directly helping me is actually hurting me. And I recognize that as I look around me, I still have a lot of work to do today, and I also need to continue on with thinking about things. And it's not at all that I want to be a hateful individual or anything like that. It's I just see no point in being frustrated, and I can only handle so much, and I'm not going to overburden myself. It really just kind of comes down to it's extremely difficult, and there really is nothing worth fighting over. And look, all y'all, don't be hateful, because the bottom line here is that sadly enough, it's a new chapter in my life, but that's also a really good thing, because I ain't gonna burden myself anymore than I need to achieve my goals. And it's not that I don't appreciate you all, it's that I really do. And I see that y'all were really upset with the fact of what was going on in my videos, and there's no sense crying over it and stuff. It is what it is. I can't undo the past. I simply need to be able to begin to move on, and I'm going to start with changing the channel name, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to change it to. And I understand that life is what you make it. If life is hell, it's hell. If life is heaven, it's heaven. If it isn't heaven, it's hell. And if it isn't hell, it's heaven. And there needs to be a lot more black and white in life. And it's really frustrating that it has come down to what it's come down to. And at the same time, I left it in God's hands, and God said, young man, just work alone. Only work with those who know what the heck they're doing. Those who don't, and those who are not willing to actively learn, are only going to burden you. Anyways, have a good one. And I'll be possibly jumping in another scene. I'm not sure. And, I'm going to have to sit here and think a while as I continue to get my life in order. And I may jump in with another scene. I may not. And none of this is scripted, obviously. It's just, I've run out of things to say at the moment, and I don't want to drag it on any longer for this scene. So I'll be concluding today's video with a little bit of a scavenger hunt. People throw stuff on the side of the road all the time. All you gotta do, if you're looking for materials that are abundant on the ground, well, it's not too entirely difficult. Walk around a little bit and pick up a few, and who knows? Who knows? Sure did spend a lot of my life, a lot of it wondering, where was I going wrong? What the heck happened to all my money? Well, now it's clear. A lot of frivolous spending, and, well, I'm not going to say that it's needless to say. However, I will state this much. All you got to do, like 2-liter soda bottles, you can use those for making a wind turbine or whatever have you. It really is not, rocket science. All it really takes is a little bit of know-how. Just a little bit of know-how. Yeah. And I've got a storage unit. Got tools. And, well, now it's that time in my life where I need to consider preparing for my goal. Been working towards it a little bit. However, there's always time at night during my little wind down to kind of go on a scavenger hunt. I don't pick up everything because that would be pointless. I just pick up what I happen to come across. And you know, I usually do come across something on my walks. Just a question of what and where. Just a question of what and where. The funniest darn thing, and the funniest darn thought just occurred to me. The thought being that it's not just the deer giving that big-eyed stare back at you. You're giving that deer the same look. You know, the deer ain't moving. You know, when he's staring at you, staring at him or her, you got two options. Go around them or stop. You got a few moments to decide. Stop or just move over. And that is exactly why I state that knowledge of signage is important. For example, if you see a yellow sign indicating a speed limit, and then you see, for example, a deer crossing, well, in an area where it's known to have a lot of deer, that's the recommended speed limit when they're present. So many people do not understand that. You know, slow down, enjoy life. You don't need to do 90 on 90. It's kind of frivolous there, and well, it looks like there may be possibility in this spot that I might find what I'm looking for. Sometimes you literally just gotta take a little look and just move on. You know, there's a gentleman in this town. He's fed up with it. You know, he does a really good job of keeping this town clean. I really appreciate it. You know, it is not at all that I do not appreciate anyone. It's just that you just gotta be selective. And you know, really can't blame him for saying that renting in this town, it's a little annoying. A little annoying. And he said it just outright sucks in this town. And you know, I don't agree with him, but I don't disagree with him. It's not exactly the end of an era. You know, in the event that he move, you know, when he does move, well, I think this town may have a new individual that is willing to go around and kind of clean things up. And I know that after about 8 o'clock, not many people are up and moving around this town, and you know, I don't have to move a hell of a long ways in general to get the job done. Just park a pickup in a little general area, pick up what I can with a little wagon, and carry on. Doesn't have to be difficult. You know, I know college kids park down this way over here a lot. I know the trick to finding what you're looking for, 'cause I know I'm not going to find it over in that spot, is just knowing where to find things. You know what? I really do appreciate the man. I just wish he would see that, and I wish he would stop being a disgruntled old man. You know, I get it. There's been a lot of hurt happen to him in this town. Well, tough shit. There's been a lot of hurt happen to me in this town. You know, this little old town, you know, there's been, you know, I was wrongfully arrested. The case got dismissed, and court left well enough alone. I left well enough alone. Truly wasn't all that difficult. And the court system, well, they had to make life more difficult than it, well, quite frankly, than it really needed to be. If there's one thing I know, is that if I go one block this direction, who knows, it may be jackpot. And it's right here. This is what a scavenger hunt really is supposed to be. you know, not quite what I'm looking for, but it's the same general shape. Not quite the same size, but I'll take it. Like I say, one man's trash can be another man's treasure. Who knows, I might be able to build a wind turbine with it. You know, there's one place that I know there's likely to be more. It's going to be in this general vicinity. And, no, total wrong shape. All wrong. Nope. Nope, nothing there that I'd like. Nope, not finding any of the materials I'm looking for on the ground. The biggest, best tip I can give anyone that scavenges through garbage on the sides of the road: don't be greedy. There's a lot of stuff that just really is not worth your time. Gotta be selective. Gotta be careful about what you pick up. Don't pick anything up like a needle or any of that crap. You will never know whose skin that could have been in. Quite frankly, in a situation like, you know, you find a needle and a syringe laying on the ground, that'd be an appropriate time to call the law. Just keep the scene secure. Because there really is no point. No good can come of putting your fingerprints on a syringe and needle. You know, it's getting a little bit steep for what I could, for what I might be, for what I'm looking for to stay on. So I'll just come across, because I know that which is round tends to roll downhill. And you know, there's really no point in wasting time and energy in a spot that you know is extremely unlikely to find what you're looking for. And, to say the least, if anyone's thinking about, you know, wanting to get with me or anything, I've had it with women. I'm a loner for a reason. I'm happier alone than I ever was with anyone else for a living circumstance, and you know, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Gotta be efficient in your work. Gotta be timely. And not only that, it does not pay to waste a lot of time and energy carrying that which you're not going to benefit from. You know, that ain't worth my time. See, the lesson here is, you know, if I really wanted to, I could spend a lot of time looking underneath cars and whatnot, and, well, that would be, quite simply, a definite waste of my time. I'm not saying that I'm not saying at all that my time is more, is better off spent elsewhere. I'm just saying that really simply, it's not worth your time. You know, it's like, you know, logging or whatever, you know. And when you're homesteading, you don't mow the forest. You thin it out. Stuff will grow in its place. And for a forest to continue to grow, it does need a little tiny bit of assistance. Just a little bit of assistance. And I'm thinking that because my fingers are getting cold, that it may be a decent idea for me to actually consider heading home. Because my scavenger hunt, I've already paid, a little. But you know what? You don't plant the garden, you plow the field. Good evening. You gotta be thankful for what you got. All right. You know, really, I know the soil in this area well, and, well, y'all may see at some point in time homesteading with Brother Matt, descendant of God. Maybe that might be a decent channel name. No matter what way you throw the bone. You know, sometimes it is just worth letting go of the bone. Oh, by the way, if any of you are thinking about mischief in this town, it only took 3 weeks for an armed bank robbery to be... No, not an armed bank robbery, but an armed convenience store robbery to be completely solved. Only 3 weeks. And everyone involved was arrested. Everyone. And that court case, take it from a guy who knows this town pretty well in general. I can definitely and honestly state that just being thankful for what you got. Yep, it's definitely time for me to be getting home. By the way, it is kind of funny. I was keeping a person from progressing further into my house. I gotta name names. I didn't even have to call the cops. They showed up. Kind of funny how that works. And the funny thing is, I wasn't kidding. And I'm not kidding when I say the cops in this town, they literally are pretty darn bored, and they can be all over. They can literally be all over criminals in a heartbeat. Let's see here. Over the summer, there was a fight, like literally 2 blocks from my house. Let's see here. And before that, all right, it was about March that I was wrongfully arrested. Completely wrongfully, by the way, which the case was dropped. Because they knew I could not present and that the case would not be a meaningful case. And that was the funniest part of it all. The absolute funniest part of all of that was the case was not even worth the court's time, and the dillhole who pressed the charges, the courts wanted to let well enough alone when the darn idiot said, no, he's crazy. Newsflash, people. After a 2-hour psych eval from someone from a mental institution, one of them mental institution psych doctors, he couldn't find a darn thing wrong with me. In fact, he goes, well, looks like we're driving at the same level. I said, well, thank you, sir. And it was, the next 2 weeks after that were very tense, even though I knew that it would all be over soon. And, I was tired of the case going on, and the judge was, and everyone else, and I'm just glad that chapter of my life is over. I found God. I am a brother of God because God's a creator. I'm a creator. And anyone who thinks that a man, that God can only be a man, quite frankly, ain't even worth your time. Them dumb masses can go straight to North Korea. That said, cue the next scene. Well, can't say that it was an entire loss. But you know, I can't entirely be upset because I did come back with a bottle for my projects. Whilst yes, plastic will over time get brittle, it takes a long time for plastic to biodegrade, for plastic to degrade. Longer than you would ever imagine. And as long as I keep it out of the direct sunlight, in general, it'll last a while. It'll last a while. Oh, it hurts. Not exactly the most pleasant feeling in the world. I'm not gonna tap my fingers on anything because I don't want to put micro cracks in my skin. So I'm just gonna sit here a minute and just do a hair bit of gaming. It's never a bad thing to enjoy a game for a little while. A little whining here in the background. The turbo. Fortunately, I do not have a very long ways to go before I have to deliver the I was off by a long way. Okay. 657 miles. Now, you know,